Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Terrifying Tuesday on this channel where we talk about all things horror. And today isn't the video we thought we were going to be doing. Instead, there is a huge Scream casting update that we must talk about. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so this isn't the video we were going to do. We were going to do a more holiday-oriented horror video for today. However, this happened. Scream 7, The Gift That Keeps On Giving, just released a huge casting update that we needed to talk about. So I felt like we needed to address this because it is a game changer. What is this news? Well, Variety is reporting that Mason Gooding is set to return for Scream 7. And it says Mason Gooding will be back for more Scream. Sources tell me that the actor will reprise his role of Chad Meeks Martin in the 7th installment of the horror franchise. Jasmine Savoy Brown, who plays Chad's sister Mindy, has not officially signed on yet. News of Gooding's return comes after the film weathered production delays, creative overhauls, and cast shakeups. Back in March, Gooding addressed hiccups, saying if it could make money, I guarantee they're making it. He told me at the time, it's all about keeping up with what feels like the best for the fans, and Scream doesn't exist without people who enjoy it as much as they do. If they want it, they will certainly try their best to see it happen. Neve Campbell had announced she was returning to Scream even after she had skipped the 6th film due to a salary dispute. Along with Campbell's return, the film will mark Kevin Williamson's first time directing, and this all comes after Christopher Landon had left the project. But this is huge. Courtney Cox has not officially signed on to play Gale Weathers again yet. However, the new cast members include Isabel May as Neve Campbell's daughter, as well as McKenna Grace, Sam Rechner, and Asa German. Up until this point, we didn't know whether or not we were getting the Meeks family back into it. And this actually makes perfect sense. They are more in tune with what you would expect to see Sydney talking to, Sydney sort of incorporating herself with, than the Carpenter sisters. I mean, let's face it, the Carpenter sisters were great, and they were a welcome addition to the Scream family, and I look forward to seeing them come back again. However, this news is huge for a number of reasons, because number one, this tells us that Sydney is still in touch with the Meeks family, which also could mean that Randy Meeks' sister could have a big part in this movie as well, even though we haven't heard anything yet. But at the very least, what it means is that one of them will be back. Chad, at least, is coming back. And that's not a bad thing, because Chad in the last movie sort of was that Dewey-esque character. He got stabbed multiple times. He was the one that turned into a human pincushion, and yet he survived. So it only makes sense that they might choose to bring him back again. Only this time I don't think he's going to be so lucky. If I had my guess, there's 3 ways that this could actually go. And only 3 ways this makes sense. If he is part of the main cast and is associated with Sydney and her family in some way, maybe helping them out along with members of his family, or if he is just the opening kill. If suddenly we get to see him as the opening kill, that would tell us that no one's safe from the past, that the Carpenter sisters and all of them are not safe. That would tell us that, at least. That might be a really fun way to go with it all. However, the third way is perhaps the most exciting way, and the way that I think would make for a very interesting plot. We saw that his character, Chad Meeks Martin, was fighting along with his sister to stop Ghostface from killing their friends. They were the circle of friends that were at the heart of the last couple of sequels. And now, all that's over. But What if it's not? What if Ghostface continued to haunt them? What if Ghostface continued to stalk them? A new Ghostface came along and really did kill all of them, and Chad is the last one. What if he just knows that the only way to end this once and for all is to get rid of Sydney? Now you have a plot. Now you have something you can work with. What if he has genuinely flipped out? What if he knows the only way to stop all of this from happening is to get rid of Sidney Prescott once and for all? This would actually be a game changer in the series because it would mark one of the times that the survivors from the past movies have come back to actually be the killer. This has never officially happened in Scream. There's always been the killers, and then there's been the survivors, and the survivors return, and they fight again. And most of them end up surviving yet again. So for one of them to actually come back and legitimately be the bad guy this time around would be different. That would make Ghostface different. And you know that they keep telling us that Ghostface will be different. That's what you hear every single movie, and this one's no exception to that. They keep telling us that Ghostface will come back. Ghostface will be different this time, a different version of Ghostface than we've ever seen before. And this would actually legitimately do it if he comes back as the killer. Now, I don't know if that would happen or if it should happen, but it would definitely make for an interesting concept to see someone that used to trust Sydney's family actually decide that they don't want to trust her anymore, that they want to end her once and for all, just so that their family and everybody else could be safe. This could embody the Ghostface cult that exists online that we know is out there. It could involve that. He could have been taken in by them and decided that if you can't beat them, join them type of thing. This could also be him acting on his own. Maybe even if his sister does join, if they do actually get Mindy to return, if they get Jasmine Savoy Brown to return as Mindy, it would be very interesting to see her also be one of the killers. Picture it. A brother-sister duo of killers is something we haven't seen before either. This would be unique. This would be different. And I'm 1,000% down to shake it up and do this type of thing. And not to mention, this would be around the same time, in theory, that it should be the anniversary of the original Woodsboro murders. Because that's kind of what's been hinted at, is that this is going to take place during an anniversary of those killings or something. And if that's true, what better time to have Randy's niece and nephew come in and try to end it once and for all. They've learned that they can't beat the Ghostface killer, that they will keep coming back to finish the job. So they ultimately decide that Sydney has to go. That could make for something fun. On the other hand, it might also be fun to see them both come back and just help Sydney and her family defeat Ghostface once and for all and honor Randy's memory in doing so. I don't know which of these scenarios I prefer more. I kind of almost think I want them to be the killers because that would definitely shake this franchise up. And it would be so funny to see that as a reveal. This could also keep in what we've said before about how I think that McKenna Grace would be the opening kill. So Sydney automatically loses one daughter, and then these two enter the picture. And are they actually going to be the killers, or are we meant to think they are? Whatever they do with these characters has got to be important to the plot. And I think that that's going to happen. If they're bringing in Chad, I think they have a plan for him. At least I really hope they do. Because if they bring him in and they waste him, or they bring him in and they make him Dewey 2.0 again, I don't think fans are going to be as happy with that. He was Dewey 2.0 in the past movie, and that's kind of something I think a lot of people had a problem with. So make this character interesting, change him up a bit, bring him in and make him important to this plot in some way. And this is great news. But that is where I am going to leave it off to you guys. I want to know what you guys think. Are you excited about the possibility of Chad coming back? And how do you think they're going to use him? Do you think he's going to help the family of Sidney Prescott? Do you think he's going to be someone that we're meant to believe is the killer? Do you think he's actually going to be the killer? Do you think that they're going to use him the same way as they did in the previous movie as sort of this Dewey 2.0? And what do you think about the possibility that they mention here that Mindy could also be coming back? Do you think that that's good? Do you want that as well? What would you like to see her role be if she makes a comeback to this movie as well? Because both of these characters in the previous movie were not used to their highest potential. I don't think they were used to their highest potential at all. If you thought they were, I want to hear from you. Do you also think that this franchise needs to shake things up? Would you like to see the cult of Ghostface somehow be involved in this plot to this movie? And what do you think, once more, about it being an anniversary of the original killings, as has been rumored? As always, we want to hear from you guys. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment box below. Make sure you share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of this conversation. Make sure you hit that like button. It's free. It helps the channel. We really do appreciate it. Then Miko says we need more subscribers. And look at his face. You don't want to disappoint Miko. And at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.